I feel like it'll be a little entertaining. I don't know how long he's gonna last in with these big shots coming at him, but hey, we only time will tell. You know, I'm not here to hype that shit. Not even my business. That's somebody else fish to fry.
Yeah.
You know, I got my own fish to fry.
Terence Crawford is not going to do anything to Canelo Alvarez. Terence Crawford, yes, he's good. He's a 4-division world champion, 2-division undisputed, but he couldn't even hurt Major.
Is that they think that Canelo is easy work because of the fact that he's flat-footed and he just kind of like, he does basic, I would say. He has basic skills, but he's really good at those basic fundamental skills.
Charlo explains his reasoning for thinking Canelo will defeat Terence Crawford. He clarifies that the crucial element is Crawford's ability to endure the forceful blows that are directed at him. Charlo notes that the challenge is made more difficult by the fact that Crawford is already moving up in weight classes to take on Canelo. He argues that Crawford's ability to control Canelo's strength and pressure throughout the fight will determine the outcome. Given that Madrimov is not even close to Canelo's level, analysts feel that Terence could not cause him any real harm. Even though Crawford has faced Errol Spence, the task is entirely different. Canelo is a legendary fighter who has been more active recently and is younger, making him a more formidable foe of Bud.
10-0. That never got in the ring with anything like a Terence Crawford. That never got in the ring with a former champion, with an elite fighter. And he couldn't hurt. He couldn't hurt Majrimov. Canelo Alvarez is no Earl Spence, ladies and gentlemen. I know that some of y'all are hyped because what Terence Crawford did an incredible performance and an incredible job versus Earl the True Spence that was supposed to be the big fish, and he turned the big fish into tuna fish on your outline, on your local supermarket. Canelo Alvarez is not Earl Spence, my brothers. Canelo Alvarez is not Amir Khan. Canelo Alvarez is not Cobra. Canelo Alvarez is not Gamboa. Canelo Alvarez is not Felix Diaz. Canelo Alvarez is not Sean Porter. Canelo Alvarez is none of those guys, ladies and gentlemen. Canelo Alvarez is none of those guys. Canelo Alvarez is not the Mean Machine. Canelo Alvarez is Canelo Alvarez, regarded as one of the greats. And not just the Mexican greats. I don't like how y'all try to put it, oh no, he's the best Mexican shit, because you don't want to say that he's one of the greatest that ever laced them up. Canelo Alvarez is one of the greatest that ever laced them up. Has carried the sport of boxing on his shoulder. And let me say it like this, leading up to the fight, Canelo Alvarez is more active than Terence Crawford. Canelo Alvarez is more seasoned than Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is more seasoned than Terence Crawford. He's younger than Terence Crawford. He's more active than Terence Crawford. His resume is better than Terence Crawford. The people that he's fought is better than Terence Crawford. He's fought every damn style. He's fought the best Russians at the time with Kovalev. He fought the best Asian in Kazakhstan and Triple G.
According to Elbrook, he prefers Canelo Alvarez over Terence Crawford in a battle because Canelo is a totally different kind of fighter than any opponent Crawford has ever faced. Although Crawford's triumph over Errol Spence was noteworthy, Brook points out that it did not equip him for Canelo's tactics. Canelo differs from Spence and others due to his strength, experience, and capacity to manage bouts at higher weight classes. Brook thinks that this fight is one of the hardest in Crawford's career because he has never faced a fighter with Canelo's skill set, power, and ring knowledge.
You've got to sway towards Canelo. Crawford's going to have to, move up, and, I knew when I boxed Golovkin, there's a big difference, especially with someone that, fighting a middleweight, a mediocre world champion is okay. But when you're fighting someone like, Canelo or Golovkin, it's a different kettle of fish, I have to lean towards Canelo, but, Crawford's very, very, very good.
Do you think Crawford's still got the legs? Obviously, he's very much got great IQ in the ring, but he's very much a good mover as well. Do you feel like he's still got the legs to be maybe outmoving Canelo if he needs to?
Well, I don't know. I think when we look back at Mayweather when he beat Canelo, he's a mover. Crawford's not really like Mayweather in that aspect. He's more. He kind of sets his feet. He's cute with how he approaches chucking shots and moving. You know what I mean? I I think it's a different fight to Mayweather, and Canelo's obviously a different fighter from when he boxed.
From his fight.
More times at the higher weight class, and Bud looks to be a bigger dude than Floyd Mayweather, right? So when Floyd was 37, he moved to 52 and fought a much bigger Canelo. Crawford's 37, he fighting Madrimov with 11 fights. Not the same. It's not. I don't care what y'all talking about. The Bud Buddy's just gonna have to be mad at me because truth is truth. So that's a valid question. And again, I'll be glad when this fight's over. Put it that way. I don't care who wins. May the best man win. I hope it's a double knockout. I already told y'all. Just because I'm just over it, and I want to get back to some of the other fights. There's other fights that are interesting, and they make more sense. Like Brian Norman, Devin Haney. I'm interested in Yard versus Benavidez, etc. There's some fights we're hearing about, blah, blah, blah. So I'll be glad when this is over. To be 100% honest, there's more fights that actually fans have been requesting that matter, blah, blah, blah. But Rosado, he brought up a lot of good points. He was saying Crawford, he thinks he's too small, and he even gave his own personal experience. He said, like, I'm like 180, 190 solid, and when I fight guys that are welterweights, even if they crack and they're known for being like menacing, murderous punchers at the lower weight classes, 140, 147, them moving up, it feel like pillows when they fight me. When I get hit with their punches, it feel like pillows because I'm used to getting hit by triple. Right? He used to Triple G work. He used to Lemieux work. So to me, this is kind of common sense, but common sense ain't that common. Right.
One of the most crucial elements in the clash between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez has been emphasized by analysts repeatedly. Whether Crawford can withstand Canelo's blows and absorb the kind of force that has stopped or slowed down several opponents before him is the crucial question. Although some boxers think Canelo appears to be flat-footed and easier to handle, experts clarify that this is untrue. His methodical approach is founded on efficiency, timing, and balance. Every shot has the most power because Canelo plants his feet and relies on the fundamentals. This is the difficulty Crawford is facing. His Canelo's movement and defensive prowess may enable him to evade shots for extended periods of time, but his patience eventually leads him to discover gaps. The issue will be whether Crawford can remain calm in the face of intense fire once the trouble taking down a fighter who was once regarded as one of the world's top welterweights. Crawford cemented his status as one of this generation's finest fighters on that night. According to many, he looks even better now than he did in that fight. According to his training partners, they observe that his conditioning is at its best. His reflexes are still intact, and his speed has remained sharp. Even though he is now older, Crawford seems to have improved his strategy and increased his level of focus. According to many who have observed his recent preparation, he is playing at his peak right now.
Actually look better than ever. Now, let's think about it, ladies and gentlemen. When you're talking about someone like Terence Crawford or Canelo Alvarez, you're talking about the elite of the elite. And if I'm gonna be honest, Terence Crawford, when he fought Errol Spence, in my opinion, at the time, I believe he was pound for pound number 3. And Terence Crawford absolutely annihilated him.
Kelly Pavic, a former middleweight champion, provided tactical advice on how Crawford may defeat Canelo. He focuses on the early rounds in his guidance. Pavic says that Crawford can't let Canelo dictate the tempo. He must instead coerce Canelo into exerting more effort than normal by using if he can force him to fire more punches, move his feet, and pursue the fight in the latter stages of protracted conflicts. Additionally, Pavel thinks that Crawford has potential here. Crawford can limit Canelo's explosive power in the latter rounds and potentially outpoint him or even force a late stoppage by maintaining the pressure early on.
Stay in Canelo's ass a little early on, put Canelo behind, right? Even if it's 3 out of the first 4 rounds, because when Canelo has to fight, okay, when Canelo has to step it up, after 7 rounds, he starts to fade a little bit. We've seen that with Bebo. We've seen it in a lot of his fights with Triple G. You know, when Canelo can control the fight and the ring generalship, like, yeah, he could fight 12 rounds pretty good. But when Canelo gets pushed early on in the fight, he starts to fade muscle endurance-wise. So if I was Crawford, I would kind of stay in his ass a little bit on, you know, the early rounds and make him have to play catch-up in rounds 3, 4, 5. And then by round 7, that's where, you know, he could really step it up.
When contrasting the experiences of the two combatants, Dan Rafael uncovered a crucial discovery. He clarified that Canelo has already engaged in combat and taken blows from opponents from weaker divisions. Despite being naturally smaller, opponents like Floyd Mayweather, Amir Khan, and Miguel Cotto pushed him at heavier weights. Canelo demonstrated that he could withstand shots from smaller men by not just fighting them, but also adjusting to their timing and speed. Conversely, Crawford has yet to see a naturally larger foe with the same degree of the physicality Canelo contributes. Even though Crawford has excelled in a number of classifications, facing someone who is genuinely comfortable lifting heavier weights is a completely different test. Rafael's statement emphasizes how Canelo's experience competing at the highest level against a variety of opponents may provide him with a significant edge over Crawford, who hasn't yet been put to the test by such size and strength.
Rafael kind of made a great point when talking about sizes, because he said if you look at them two together now, they look the same size. He said people have got the idea of the size thing wrong. it's not looking at them as a physical package. It's who has absorbed the bigger shots in the weight division. And it was good. It was a very good point. It was like Canelo has been hit by light heavyweights and super middleweights for the best part of a decade.
Basically,
he's so used to taking those shots, whereas Crawford hasn't. Crawford's been hit by 140 guys and 147 guys for the best part of a decade.
Yeah.
What's Crawford going to be like? So basically, trying to say, Canelo could easily absorb Crawford shots. Mm-hmm. Can Crawford easily absorb Canelo's punches?
If you're taking shots from Triple G, Sergey Kovalev, and Dmitry Bivol, and you're staying on your feet, not getting hurt,
not even getting wobbled,
just literally shaking it off.
Yeah.
You can take Terence Crawford shots.
100%.
Right.
Mikey Garcia's prediction has been extremely clear-cut. He thinks Terence Crawford could suffer severe injuries from Canelo. Garcia contends that despite Crawford's exceptional technique, the force of Canelo's punches may be too great for his defensive skills to offset. Garcia emphasized the body blows in particular, adding that one of Canelo's most lethal techniques is his capacity to wear down opponents with uppercuts to the middle and hooks to the ribs. Garcia claims that although Crawford is a skilled technique, skill is limited when confronted with greater weight and raw power. He believes that Crawford is in grave danger during the fight because Canelo's meaningful punches have the ability to quickly shift the momentum. Garcia's remarks draw attention to the general apprehension among many experts that Crawford might not be able to overcome the size and power disparity.
What happens when he takes a shot from Canelo? One of those uppercuts from Mejia or those...
He could get dropped, or he feels it enough to be like, fuck this, I'm boxing. And goes on the bicycle and turns southpaw for the rest of the night. And I wouldn't blame him either. Fuck it, you're gonna go in there and collect a fucking paycheck at that point.
Right.
You're not gonna go get hurt.
Right.
What good is it to get fucking 20, 30 million if you are fucking hurt physically, end up in the hospital and hurt just physically, life-changing, you don't want that shit.
But you think Canelo could hurt him? Could be life-changing?
Good, he's that big, bro. One punch could fucking knock him out bad enough to hurt his eye socket or detached retina. You never fucking know.
Right.
So no one wants that shit.
Crawford said if he beats him, he's in the top 3 GOATs of all time.
Oh, for sure. If Crawford beats Canelo, then for sure, you know, all the fucking props in the world, bro. And he actually does have a chance. It's not like he doesn't have a chance. Don't be too surprised if he fucking pulls it off.
Antonio focused on his mental preparation and had a more upbeat attitude over Crawford's prospects. Crawford is renowned for picturing his bouts well before entering the ring. He clarified, this indicates that he is already aware of the difficulties Canelo poses and has practiced his responses in his head. Antonio believes that Crawford's intelligence and adaptability are his strongest traits. His career has been founded on adapting to opponents rather than solely depending on physical advantages, dissecting them, and applying his own cadence. He believes that skill sets, not weight classifications, will determine the outcome of this bout. Antonio thinks that if Crawford follows his strategy well, his adaptability and boxing acumen may allow him to counter Canelo's physical advantages.
Terence got to be Terence, bro. He's a real deep thinker. He processed fights like nobody else. And he's processed this Canelo fight. He's seen it. He went through it 2 or 3 times already. He knows how this ends. You can tell the way he shadow boxes. He visualizing Canelo being right there in front of him. You understand? Look at the movement. That's all you got to do. Look at the movement. And that's the type of master boxer that Canelo is going to be facing. And the only thing I say is Canelo hasn't faced an opponent like this in a long time. You know what I mean? I think Canelo's going to have to go back to the Caleb Plant fight and look that good, that active, that, you feel me, moving with that type of grace to beat Terence Crawford. Because weight ain't going to make the difference. It ain't going to be the weight. It's going to be the skill set.
That concludes the video for today. Keep an eye out